everybody, my name is Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. We're obviously in my car, and today I wanted to go visit some little free libraries and get rid of some books that have been accumulating, some books that I have read, and actually I've read all these books with the exception of a couple of DNFs. So I'll go ahead and show you the books that I'm unhauling, and then we're gonna drive around and find some little free libraries, and hopefully we can find some good books in them. But I'll go ahead and go through the books for you. I'm going to be getting rid of The Cross-Centered Life by C.J. Mahaney. This is actually a book that I have the real copy of. This is an abridged copy, and I accidentally bought it, and I didn't mean to. So I have an abridged copy of what's already a really short book. So this is like insanely short. It's like under 100 pages. But anyways, this is a great book, but I have the real copy of it and I don't need this abridged copy. So hopefully I can find a place to bring that book. I also have a copy of the fourth book in the Inheritance Quartet by Christopher Paolini, and I have this book because I accidentally ordered 2 copies. I don't know why I keep doing that. It seems to be a pattern with me. Next up, I'm going to get rid of Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. I got maybe halfway through this book when I gave up on it. It wasn't my thing, wasn't my style. I don't love war books in general, and this in particular was just very difficult to read. I just wasn't enjoying it, so I DNF'd it. Next up, I'm getting rid of a really strange book. This is Anonymous Rex by Eric Garcia. When I first picked it up, it sounded like it was in the vein of a cozy mystery, and this is a very silly mystery premise, but it's about a velociraptor detective, but it ended up being a lot stranger even than that, and it was just a weird book. So getting rid of that, maybe someone will enjoy it. I don't know. Next up, I have Star Spangled Banner, The Unlikely Story of America's National Anthem by Mark Ferris. This was interesting, but had just a lot of extraneous information that was just kind of dry reading. It just felt like I was reading a history textbook, and it just wasn't particularly written in an interesting way enough to keep my attention, so I'm getting rid of that. I'm also getting rid of Everybody Lies. This was about internet data and Google searches and how it can tell us about people's habits and give us information that is maybe even more honest than taking polls, because when people do internet searches, you can learn a lot about them, was basically the idea of this book. It was interesting. I had some interesting ideas, but it wasn't probably a rereadable book. I wouldn't plan on rereading this though, so that is going to be unhauled. Next up, I have The Book of Boy. I talked about this in a recent video, but this was just a middle grade that I didn't really enjoy the story. The plot was kind of strange. It wasn't for me. It did not click with me for whatever reason. And then finally, I'm going to get rid of Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This I tried and just couldn't get through it. I didn't think it was very interesting, wasn't capturing my attention, was moving kind of slowly, was a little bit stereotypical, so getting rid of this, hopefully it will find a better home. So I've got a list here of some little libraries to visit, so let's go ahead and get on the road. So this first one is actually on a church campus, and looks like there's some kids books and some Christian books, so I think I will definitely be putting this one in there, and let's see if I can find anything to take. Alright, so I put in the C.J. Mahaney book, and I got this one, The Happiness Project. I want to say I've seen this somewhere, but it sounds like something that might be fun to read. So I will go ahead and put that on my pile, and let's go on to the next library. So this next little free library is really cute. It's in a residential neighborhood, and it's got this adorable little wagon in front of it, which I assume has a bunch of kids books in it. So I think I'm gonna grab, I think I'll grab Children of Blood and Bone, and I'll see if I can maybe switch it out, and maybe Inheritance. There might be some YA novels in there or something, so we will see. So this time I got rid of the Inheritance book that I had, and then I picked up this one, The Almost Nearly Perfect People, Behind the Myth of the Scandinavian Utopia. So it sounds like someone who's from a Scandinavian country of some sort, kind of debunking the myth that like everything is perfect in those countries. Maybe is from what I understand. I know here in America we really talk about how they have, you know, better health system, better education system, which honestly they probably do. But this sounds interesting if he's trying to like kind of take away the rose-colored glasses. So I'm looking forward to that one. That one's a neat find. I'm at the next one now, and it was like right around the corner, and funny enough, I didn't even realize, but it's on the street of my Bible study. I had put the address in and the street name didn't even occur to me. So my Bible study leader just lives right down the street, but I'm gonna check out this little box. I'm not gonna show you because there's a car there and I don't want to get the license plate in the shot, so sorry, but I'll let you know what books I'm gonna carry with me. I think Catch-22 and Children of Blood and Bone, so maybe I can find 2 books for giving away too. So I was able to get rid of Children of Blood and Bone and Catch-22, and instead of that I picked up Flowers for Algernon, which is one I've been meaning to read for a long time. I read part of it and then I don't think I ever finished it. So I got that one. And I got this nonfiction, The Road to Character by David Brooks. It sounds like a study on spirituality and psychology and politics, and it sounds like it's maybe got a Catholic author possibly. So I don't know, it sounds interesting. It's about focusing on the deeper values of humans and how character informs our lives, something like that. So yeah, so far we got three nonfiction and only 1 fiction. So apparently I'm feeling the nonfiction today, which is good. I need to read more nonfiction. Oh no, this one is closed. I have a little sign that says it's temporarily closed, so bummer. It's super cute, but no books inside. Oh well. Alright, this next one is up in the hills, and I have some fancy houses around me. We fancy up in here, so I'm gonna give them some hardcovers, because, you know, these fancy people, they need their hardcover books. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna try to get rid of these ones at this next stop. You guys, the fancy people did not disappoint. Look what I got. This is so cool. So I knew about this when it came out. I remember hearing about it. It's so cool. It's the Action Bible, and it's perfect to probably share with some young people in my life that I know, but I also want to read it, so I don't know if I can share, if I'll do a good job of sharing. But it's the Bible in like a very like comic book kind of fashion. Look at that, it's so cool and beautiful. Oh my goodness, I'm stoked about this one, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I might have to read this like really soon. I love it. And then I also got a classic. I also got Anthony Trollope, I don't know, Barchester Towers. I'd heard of this author, but I have never read anything by him. Super yellow pages though. But yeah, got a classic. But most importantly, this is quite a find, because I would imagine this would be pretty expensive if you were to just outright buy it. So excited about that. I believe I only have 1 more address on my list to visit, and I have 2 more books, so hopefully I can drop these 2 off in the next little library. So we're gonna get out of the hills and go back down the hill to less fancy houses. Seriously, these houses are beautiful around me. Obviously, I don't live around here, but they're very nice houses. All right, last one, guys. This one looks pretty small. It's in front of someone's house. It looks like it's a really small box, so there may not be that many books in it, but no matter what, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and drop these off, because this was my last stop for today. So we'll see if there's anything in there to take, but if not, I'm just gonna drop these off. All right, so that last library was actually pretty decent. It had some YA in there. It had some very diverse literature as well. So I picked up Toni Morrison's Song of Solomon. I've actually read 2 or 3 Toni Morrison books. I've read The Bluest Eye and I've read Sula. I don't think I've read Song of Solomon. Pretty sure I haven't. So I picked this one up, and I also picked up A Princess in Theory. This is part of the Reluctant Royals series. I don't know if this is the first one or not, and there's not really an indication on the cover if it is or not. So I'll have to look that up. But I have seen a lot of people speak very highly about these books, and romance is a genre I really don't know much about, but I'm definitely taking recommendations, and I've seen this one a lot around BookTube especially. So I'm looking forward to those ones. Alright, so let's go ahead and make our way on back home, and then I will show you all of the books that I got one more time. We are back home. Quick side note, in seriously every single little free library, there was at least 3 John Grisham books, or also highly represented was Dan Brown. And who was the other author that I saw a lot? Michael Connolly I saw a few times. There's definitely some repeat offenders in these little free libraries. Why is that? Why does no one hold on to their John Grisham books? Everybody just like buys them and maybe just reads them once and then gets rid of them. Are they just not very rereadable? I don't know. I have read a John Grisham book before, and I remember I enjoyed it, but I think I borrowed it from someone, so I didn't own it. But yeah, definitely you see the same authors over and over. Also, quick note, I have been driving around sanitizing my hands between every visit. I just forgot to tell you about that. So if you decide to do something like this, be safe, be smart. Coronavirus is still a thing. Just because things are starting to reopen a little bit more, it doesn't mean it's not out there. And I'm actually probably going to get some wipes and wipe all these books down with some Clorox wipes before I bring them into my house, just to be extra safe. But yes, be safe, don't be a dummy. If you go to a used store of any kind where there are products that other people have touched, have your hand sanitizer with you. Oh, this one doesn't smell very good. It just smells like alcohol. Alright, so let's go through all the books that I picked up. I picked up The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. This looks like maybe a self-help-ish kind of book about taking advantage of the time you have on this earth and doing things that make you happy, so I'll give it a try. We'll see about that one. I also picked up The Almost Nearly Perfect People, Behind the Myth of the Scandinavian Utopia by Michael Booth. This one I've never heard about, but I am really interested in that topic about why are the Danish people so happy even though they have high taxes, and maybe they're not as happy as everyone thinks. Maybe everybody just has different problems, which I'm guessing that's the angle of this book. Next up, I have The Road to Character by David Brooks. Really no clear idea of what this is. It says, in The Road to Character, he focuses on the deeper values that should inform our lives. Brooks challenges us and himself to rebalance the scales between our resume virtues, achieving wealth, fame, and status, and our eulogy virtues, those that exist at the core of our being, kindness, bravery, honesty, and faithfulness. This actually might be really good. It sounds neat. Next up, I picked Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. This is one I had already been planning to read, and so I'm really glad I have a copy. It's a little bit of a beat up copy, but I think if I kind of wipe it down on the outside, maybe I can get some of the gunk off of it. Next up, I picked up a classic, Barchester Towers. Literally no idea what this is, but I do know that author, and I'm always down for a classic, so I will have this one on hand. I also have A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole, and this might be in a series. It might not be the first book of the series. I have to do a little research on that before I pick it up. But this I have definitely seen some hype about, so I'm glad I got a copy of that. I also picked up Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison, who is an author that I have read, and I do enjoy her works. So looking forward to getting into her again. I should probably make my way through all of her stuff, but I've only really read her for school, but I remember it was always a very impactful experience reading her books, so looking forward to that. And then the one that I'm maybe most excited about is this epic action Bible in a graphic novel kind of format, and I honestly could not be more excited about this book. This is such a find. Who knows how much this costs if you actually buy it new, and this is like in brand new condition too. So thank you, fancy people who live in the hills, for giving me this book. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed taking a ride around the city with me in my car. This was really fun to do. I would definitely do this again. I feel like the excitement is definitely in the fact that you never know what you're gonna find. So that was definitely a win all around for me. I look forward to doing another little free library haul and unhaul. Let me know if you enjoy this sort of thing, if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up with my bookish journey. Keep reading great books, and until next time, bye-bye.